yeah, this is who are we? The Valkyrie Book Club.
Sorry.
Um and this is Megan, Bree, Becca, and then we have Kimi and Kristy joining us.
Woo woo.
Um
Hi.
Hello.
so we are going to review The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Um but we're going to do it a little differently this time. We can start off with our general like how we do for social, like our stars, our chili peppers, any reasonings behind those, and our kind of like TDLR consensus on it. And then I have topics that we can go over. Only because I've read this book, so I like kind of know what to kind of like bring up, and I want to hear everybody's take on it. So, yeah, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. So overall, I can't remember what I texted you, Megan. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5
Maybe.
stars.
Maybe let me look.
And then I definitely know for chili peppers, I just gave it a 0. I don't think it was meant to be spicy, and that's totally fine. Yeah, I thought it was like a good opening to the book. Just got like a lot of background information. I liked like the cliffhanger it left off on. Um, so it definitely wasn't like as action packed as I thought it would be, but I'm sure the next books will be. So liked it so far.
So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Originally I said 0 spice, maybe 0.5 for the relationship that was involved. I enjoyed the book because it was broken into 5 different parts. I love that they provide a map because I'm the one I would read something and flip to the map and I was like
Yeah.
marking up the map. So I loved that. And I really like that. It built that connection to the main character. And I know you can read it in a different order, but I enjoyed that we read this one first because we got some background information. Cute love story, fun to read until it wasn't, but I know we'll talk about that later. But I'm really excited to read the series.
I give this one a 4. So I did read this for everybody listening out there. I did read this. I want to say 2-ish years ago, maybe. And I think at the time I gave it probably like a 2.5, but rereading it, I'm giving it a 4 just because I took a more appreciation for the different stories and the characters. Because when I read it the first time, I was just kind of so excited that I blast through it because I had just finished ACOTAR, and then going to this, I was just like a whirlwind. So I liked it a lot more this time around. And Chili Pepper, I gave it 1 just for, again, yeah, like the relationship, romantic, flirty, yada yada scenes.
For stars, I gave it a 2 out of 5. It was definitely difficult for me to get through, like the first half of the book. But the end of the book definitely saved it for itself. Chili peppers wise, I gave it a 1 out of 5. But honestly, after hearing, I think it was Becca, give it a 0. I would honestly give it a 0. I guess I would give it a 0. I was definitely expecting more, but I also didn't realize that this was like a prequel to like the whole series. So yeah, I would probably switch it to a 0. I do like the relationship aspect of it and how it formed. It was kind of like a slow burn for me.
I guess that leaves me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd give this book 3 to 5 stars. Reason for that being, I might have given it lower, but I think I have to trust Sarah J. Maas in this instance. Kind of like when you read like the first of the ACOTAR books, you just got to push through it. And like Megan kind of says, I think that I may appreciate this book a lot later because she's kind of just setting down the foundation here. And I feel like things in this book are going to pop up later on, and it's all just going to kind of come together and make sense. It's definitely very slow. Took me a really long time to get into. I think I was only really into it for the first story and the last story. In between, I was dragging. But I didn't think it was terrible overall. It does pick up, and usually when she gets to Sarah J. Maas books and you read like the last 100 pages or 150 pages, then it picks up anyway. So I would definitely still recommend everybody to kind of read it, and don't just quit on it. I don't know if I would give it a higher rating if I would have read it later on in the series too. I don't know. We'll kind of see as I read through what my recommendation would be in terms of order and how people should read this. But in terms of spice, I'm gonna give it like 0.25 chili peppers, just for the romance. I'm a sucker for any type of romance, so I think I was very interested whenever there was any type of flirting or anything. I called him Sammy Boy in my book, and I write little hearts. Anytime Sam, he's so sweet. For him. So I always appreciate the romance part of it. I definitely need romance in a book to keep me somewhat intrigued.
Okay, so I'll read you guys the topics that I have, and I'm going to kind of change them up as I go, depending on the book. But, so we can start with the first one. So, did you feel this book was a good starting off point for the series? Would you have rather read about Sam now or 3 books in?
I can't tell you.
Like,
I can't make that decision. I don't know.
I'm gonna say I like it.
I think it was fine now.
I like having backstory. I like going in chronological order, so that makes the most sense in my brain. And I like that we read this now.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if we read it 3 books in, which the book that it's after, the book that's before it is a little on the slower side again in the beginning, building up. So I feel like dragging, like it wouldn't have helped knowing that you have to, and then you go into that book and then you're going back to the past and you're just like, do I really care now that we're 3 books in? Like I would rather care in the first place.
And this sounds... Oh, go ahead, Brie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know if I'd want to just be... I don't know. I don't know if it would be heavier if I would have read it later on. Like, exactly. I want to be emotionally destroyed, though. Mm-hmm. Like, so... if I didn't know, and I'm like, who the hell is Sam? And then all of a sudden, after I've, really developed a relationship with this character, right? Like, I was introduced to her, but I don't know how I feel about her. Mm-hmm. Just yet. If I really cared about her and developed that relationship with her and then found out what happened to her afterwards, I don't know. It might have had a bigger impact on me, but I have to read the other books to really determine that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, same with Brie, like, I don't know how I would feel because I don't know where he comes up in the story, so, like, if we get more information on him and, like, how we relate their romance. But one thing I will say, at least with, like, TikTok and being on Book Talk and everything, like, this whole series is goated. I have never seen, heard, read anything about Sam. Like, no one mentions him, so I was fairly shocked that,
like... Because nobody wants to.
Like, this was the love interest.
I do have to say that just as someone who's read everything already, if you think that was gut-wrenching, it just gets worse. So
yes, make me cry.
Yeah, literally.
Are we gonna unpack that right now or later on?
The crying? We always cry, Kimi.
Well, no, the whole Sam situation.
Yeah, we can get into it. Go ahead.
All right, so I honestly thought his death was so short and anticlimactic. Like, the story was, building, the relationship was building, and then they just cut it off. And when the story ended, I was just like, okay, on to the next one. I don't really feel any type of way for him. I feel like they did him dirty by just killing him off.
Mm-hmm. Kind of feel the same way with you, Kim. I got to the end of the book and I was like, this is stupid. I was so angry. I was like, I don't even know why I spent all this time reading it for them to, do him the way that they did him. I was like, I was like in shock.
Yeah, and I think his character traits were so strong. Like, he obviously has a good upbringing, and he thinks through things, and he was like the perfect yin to her yang, and then it was just so short and over. I don't know. I mean, I definitely see how it affects her at the cliffhanger of this book, and why she might have a motive to do things in the future. But, yeah.
Yeah, I can get
justice
that.
for Sam.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. But I think for me, I don't know if I want to say now, I felt like the book was actually pretty predictable. I knew he was going to die.
Really?
I wrote pages beforehand. I wrote Airbrand's going to kill Sam.
Your big brain. I really didn't. I had no idea.
Same brain.
I could have predicted that 10 pages in. It was crazy.
Every situation they're in, it's near death, and I get it, they're assassins, but even in Pirates Bay or Skulls Bay or whatever, with the tower crumbling, I was like, oh, Sam's gonna die. Their love story won't get to bloom, and then it does. And then with the Arabin beating, I was like, oh, wait, she hasn't seen Sam in a while. Sam's dead. Every 2 seconds, I'm like, Sam's dead.
See, but I think with that, when she thought that he was dead, it was just she kept saying it, but Sam, but Sam, but Sam. And I was like, there's no way that this man's dead. Absolutely no way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with that is, I honestly think the problem with that is not her. I think it's the fact that she wrote these so long ago for Kindle, and then wrote the first book, and then, you know what I mean? I'm sure there were edits along the way to kind of make it make more sense. But if she was going to do that, maybe she could have just written a whole new kind of story to make it less predictable, knowing that she knows the fate and so on and so forth, because she's written how many books after that,
Yeah.
I think that I've seen some comments about it, on TikTok and stuff, and that is a general consensus. And I know that was Nick's thoughts as well. But you also maybe have to think she did write these when she was 15. So maybe.
When she was how old?
She wrote this one when she was 15.
Oh. All right, that kind of makes sense then with the style.
Yeah, you can tell it does change. I have to tell you, it does change. It is really just this book, and then maybe a little bit of the next one. It is a little like that.
In terms of predictability?
A little bit, and just the style of writing. Because
it seemed very YA to me.
Yeah, because it was she wrote those, and then she's not gonna write a whole new book, just because she's of age. So she just wrote those and then published them. That's why there's no spice in them until I want to say maybe Queen of Shadows, the fifth book in, whatever. Because she couldn't, because she was not of age. That's how I think about it, though, because really her writing does get a lot better. And you can tell the difference, Bree, with ACOTAR, I'm sure, and Becca, you too. She didn't write them the same. It's just because of that.
Yeah. No, I agree with Kristy. It was very YA, but like you said, she was younger.
It wasn't terrible, even.
No,
I didn't think it was bad writing. Still, even with it being predictable, it's an origin story in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So something has to motivate this character to go do something else eventually with this whole series.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset with it at all in that way, I guess. But but yeah, I did know. I was like, oh, he ain't gonna make it. R.I.P. I didn't cry. I was like,
you didn't cry?
I didn't cry.
Oh, Lord
I didn't cry
heaven.
either.
No tears for this one.
I'm sorry.
I was
I knew it was
crying
gonna happen.
so hard. Oh my god.
Because you're an emotional bitch.
I am, but I was so invested in him. He was just so Such a cinnamon roll. I loved
I
him.
might have been
was,
more
but, like-
invested if I read it third or fourth, because I'm like gonna be like, who the hell is this Sam dude if he came up later on? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
But yeah, I
And
think
I might
Kim
have.
described it perfectly. Like the way that they did him dirty, it just was too short. So like I couldn't mourn
Yeah.
it.
It's too quick, yeah. And
I
like
was
for
just
the
like,
for the first
I
half of the book, like she hated him, so I was like, yeah, fuck Sam. And then
No!
we didn't get much.
How could you say that?
I never said that about Sam. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God.
I was like, he likes her. I
He's
tapped
a good
every
boy.
time. Every time she mentioned Sam, like when she's like out in the desert or whatever, and she's like, I wonder how Sam is doing. Tab,
69
tab,
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
tab,
Because she was like, I wonder how he's doing. No, don't think about him. I wonder how
I was
he's
like,
doing.
stop. You like him. Stop
but
fighting
my
it.
friend Ansel, but no, Sam.
Yep. Okay, speaking of the desert, what was your guys' favorite like story out of this book? Like the whatever novella.
Probably the last one.
I think that's the Underworld, right? No, the Assassin in the Empire.
Empire,
last
yeah.
one.
For mine, it's definitely the desert. I loved that story.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, I think that was probably my favorite one.
Plot twist, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh.
desert for me for sure.
It got me. It got me.
I want to meet Ansel again.
I love her. This book, like I didn't like her the first time around, but then when I reread it, like I don't know if I just like something switched in my brain in the last 2 years, but when I read it, she was like my best friend. I have to kill my best friend. I was like close to crying because I'm like, oh my God, like I feel so bad. Like this girl just had to do what she had to do, and then Selena she doesn't want to do it, but she knows what she did was wrong, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely got more emotional with the desert than when Sam passed. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh my God, Kimmy.
I got more emotional when she sold the horse. I was
she
like,
what?
not the
Yes.
horse.
Oh, the horse.
I was so mad about the horse, but it was like for a good reason. But I was like, you went through so much for this damn horse.
I know.
The horse.
I thought that was another part of her, right? She got that horse with Ansel. That was maybe something that she couldn't be with Ansel, but this is something that maybe she could still keep.
Yeah.
And then, then that got taken away too. And I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to say that wasn't as predictable for me. Like, I was suspicious of Ansel, but I didn't think that she was going to be out here murdering, especially the guy she was flirting with. I didn't see that coming.
Oh,
Me
yeah,
Guys,
me
he was like in a
either.
relationship for like 2 years. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, now
She
they
cut
really
him
did him
down.
dirty.
Yeah. Justice for that guy. We don't know his name.
Yeah.
I don't remember his
Yeah,
name, but
Something with an H. Something with an
Hold on.
H.
but
Is it-
damn.
Oh, it's Mikhail. I literally just
Oh,
turned
yeah,
to
there
it.
we go. Yeah.
Mikhail.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
But I
Can't imagine.
just like how the leader of the Silent Assassins too was like, it's like he's like, it's okay, like she did what she had, like didn't harbor any like hate over what Ansel did. He was just like, you know what, she had to do what she had to do. And I was like, sheesh.
I feel like she's going to come into play again, though, because she had the chance to basically kill her with that arrow, and she didn't. And I feel like that's going to come up again. And I really hope it does, because I want to know more about Ansel's backstory and where she's going.
Some part of me thought that Ansel might have rescued, like when she was like in jail and stuff. I was like, maybe Ansel was going to come and rescue her. That was what I was hoping.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe she winds up the same salt mine as her. Like, and then they like wind up going on a journey together. That's my hope.
Okay, so this is probably a loaded question. It's like very simple, but I feel like it's gonna be very loaded.
Send it.
Full send. Who was your favorite character and why?
Oh shit.
See, exactly. It is a loaded question.
Ooh, that's
It's hard. Well, I can tell you who I despise, but I know that's not the question.
That's the
right now.
next. Don't worry, that's the next question. I'll go first to help you guys out. I honestly would say it is a mix. Oh fuck, I can't even say what I want to say. It's a mix.
You better not ruin it for me.
I know, I'm trying. Trust me, it was really hard with Akatar. I had to hold everything in. I would say it's probably Ansel or Sam,
Yeah.
but I would give it more to Ansel just because I just really like that best friend friendship that she had with her. Um, and it seems towards that end of that short story that she didn't have evil intentions, and she didn't seem to have evil intentions with Selena. Like she truly didn't, like she drugged her and sent her away because she didn't want to have to kill her. And I just really like that best friend bond, that even though she was there for what, like a couple months, or 30 days, whatever she was there for, she still like didn't have that best friend. And Ansel was like kind of how you said before, Kimmy, about the yin and the yang. Like they always say that you have like soulmates with a partner, soulmates with a best friend. Like I feel like Ansel was like a yin of her yang, and they paired each other very well. It just sucks that a betrayal has to happen because betrayals break bonds, and that's how I feel. Like that's why it, like I mourned that bond for her.
I mean, I agree with you. I think she might have been my favorite. I really liked that novella the best. And I think her description and personality, they did a really good job. Like, I could just picture her perfectly with, like, down to her armor, down to her hair and her smile. And then I, like, saw some AI, like, I guess, artwork of characters from the story. And I was like, exactly, that's what I imagined. But then, like, just the character with Selena, it just, I think that was the best story for me. So, yeah, I really gravitated towards her. I want to go with Sam, too, but, like, again, his story was cut so short, I'm not going to go into that boat, so.
Yeah, I agree.
I might have to choose Sam. He was just so sweet. And like I felt like I knew he was going to die, and I felt that dread. Like I just felt sick. I was like, "Oh, fuck, here it comes. Like this is it." Like I didn't have that reaction with Ansel. So I can't pick her, but I probably would pick Sam. Even though I didn't cry, still RIP. He was just so sweet. Truly loved her from like the very beginning. And he just was trying to break that cycle. He didn't want to be in the Assassin's Guild anymore. He's like, let's just like fucking leave. Like this is toxic. Like this man is a piece of shit.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Selena as my favorite because her character development, I feel, was the best for me. Like how she grew, like throughout all of the different stories. She like first kind of like tells like how she's like this badass, and then I guess like what kind of connected all of it for me was when she got that suit from the Master Tinkerer. I just like in my mind could see this badass assassin with like all these hidden like daggers and swords and everything. And then like when she reacted to like Sam's death, I felt bad for her, but I knew that that's how she was gonna react, and I felt like for her. Because I feel like the whole book she not pretended, but felt like she pretended that she hated him. And then when she realized that he loved her and she loved him, like it kind of like made her into more of a character for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably pick.
I would. I don't really think I had like a shining favorite from this book. I feel like everyone was like such a small glimpse. I would say it's a tie for me between Ansel and this is left field. Irene.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
I,
okay.
I really liked her. Actually, I think she would be above Ansel. I definitely like Kimmy, like what you were saying, like Ansel's red hair and like her like bubbly attitude, and then like what she had to do at the end of the story. But like I really liked Irene, like she was like down in the dumps, kind of being taken advantage of, and then Selena comes in and teaches her like how to defend herself, and like she completely pulls off the moves like an hour later, and then like takes the money that she gets to like start a new life. And I like that growth I hope that we see her again, because I want to know more about her story and about more of like the healing and how the magic has been removed from the land. But I really liked the tavern story. I think that was like my second favorite novella, and just like I saw a little bit of me and Irene from my waitressing days, trying to like earn everything that you can, to like move away from home type thing. So maybe that's why I liked her too. Yeah, I want to see more of her. I kind of now want to look up artwork, but like I haven't, because
Don't
like
do it.
I know I haven't looked at anything because I know it's gonna get spoiled. So
If you want to look it up, then you can no longer read the books. That's the rule.
nope, I'm not looking
You
nothing
get
up.
it all spoiled for you.
Nope, I know.
Okay, so then we can go into Kimmy's favorite question, which is, which character did you dislike or disagree with the most, and why?
I can go last if you want.
No, we want you to go first now.
I have a loathing despise for Arabin. I wanted to rip the book every time his name was mentioned. And
Fair
especially
enough.
at the end when he was using his words as chains to bind her again. It's toxic relationship. I hate him so much. Yeah, and I know he's going to be in the other books because he's a huge part of her life. And I can't stand him.
Honestly, it's fair.
I gotta pull up my
Put
pages.
fuck him, ass hat. Yeah.
Ass hat.
To add on to the Arabin hate, did anyone else get like weirded out when they kept saying like Arabin, father, or could be
Oh
lover?
my god, I
Yeah.
literally have it.
Ew.
I literally have it underlined because it said or father or lover. I said should not be in the same sentence.
I said, excuse me, she just turned 17, and this man's old enough to be her father, or could be lover in a different timeline. No, thank you.
That's
Slow it down.
that's what's sick, and like he's my, obviously I hate him too. He's the least favorite. So like that's what's fucked up, is that like she's in this weird, because we don't know her backstory, we don't know anything about her. She's in this weird predicament and place in her life, and she has this figure who has been pampering her kind of how you would pamper either a daughter or a wife.
Sugar daddy.
Grooming her.
So it's just like, and there's no, like, she doesn't have that in between feeling, but that's not to say that he doesn't. Like, his motives are so strange, especially, and I felt that way, especially when he, or when it was Lysandra and she's like, Arabin won my bidding. And I was like, oh, that's so messy, because he, like, she was in the same, she didn't live there. She lives at the pleasure house, whatever the fuck it's called.
The brothel.
The brothel. I like pleasure house more. It sounds more sophisticated.
It's not.
Just like did anyone else have to Google courtesan, courtesan?
No, I already
I
knew what that was.
did, because I know that there's another meaning for it, and I was like, huh? I was like, are we using it in this way or the other way? And I was like, oh, okay.
They kept saying it, and I was like, oh, does that mean they're like part of the royal court?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Becca.
Definitely
I was
not.
like, huh?
I never saw the word before. I didn't know what it meant. Now I do, but
Now you do. Yeah, he's just a slime ball. Like,
I think
no.
I
Go
think he's
And I-
kind of like the perfect example of what a toxic relationship is like, especially somebody who's so manipulative, because he is the type of person who doesn't like to lose. And it starts when he loses his contract with the slaves, then tries to manipulate her because he's going to get his slaves one way or another. So then tricks her into doing this again. Then when he realizes he's going to lose her because she's now picking Sam, right? And that's on page 374 and 375. I was literally like, I was at the edge of my seat because I was so annoyed by him and how toxic he was. And he's trying to bring up stuff from the past, which I think will eventually come up, because he's like, have you told him the truth about where you come from? And I'm like, where does she come from? We don't know. And then he uses the words, I love you. And I said, hold up. This is the most toxic shit I've ever heard, most manipulative things that he's trying to use here. trying to act like he actually does care about her. Even when she comes back, like he beat the shit out of her, comes back and he's like, I'm gonna give you all this gold and whatever you
To buy
want.
her love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's also wrong that he would even do that. And that's how I knew absolutely that he was going to be the one to kill Sam, because I was like, he doesn't want to lose not one of his good assassins, but two of his good assassins. No,
Yeah.
he doesn't want that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, the thing that like really sealed it for me with him was literally the last line of the book, when he was like, "I don't like to share my things or whatever." I was like, "Oh, this mother trucker, I'm gonna kill it."
And I hate so much that she gave like all of the gold to him in the fourth story. I was screaming when she did that because he doesn't deserve anything, and I wish she would have done it a different way.
And it's just she felt so trapped that it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna offer him the one thing he could want, you know. But even though he doesn't give a shit about that,
Right.
like he would throw the gold in the river, like he doesn't care, like he just wants her. And it's
Yep.
Yeah, and that was also fucked that he used her money to pay for
the death of Sam, pretty much.
yeah, and then the other part, like she used
For the gold for
the horse.
Lysandra.
Yeah, for Lysandra, and like he knows that she hates
Yep.
her, and I'm like, what a petty bitch.
I was mad. I would have killed her. You know, when she came down on the steps and she's like, oh, he bought my bidding or whatever, I would have killed her. And I'd be like, bitch, you're not going to get your money's worth now that she's dead. Throw your coin away.
He already got
That's what I
his
would do.
bidding. He got the virginity, so he got what
Did
he
he?
wanted.
I don't know if it happened
gross.
yet. Not. He bought it. He bought it.
I think that's what that
Didn't
meant.
say.
I think so.
That's what that
Well, yeah,
insinuated.
she was in her like nightgown and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, and then she was like
Ugh.
hanging off his arm.
Gross.
Even if that was her virginity, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wink.
Wink.
Never know.
Killed her.
Okay, so we're all in agreement for that, thank God. If there was anybody that was like,
And
"Oh, I
Lysandra.
didn't think Arabin was that bad," I would have just probably disconnected immediately. All right, peace out.
I mean, the close second for me was the Farhan guy, whatever his name is, Farhan.
Oh,
Frickin' the crazy sadist.
yeah.
Torture guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy was weird.
But yeah, definitely Arobin.
Okay, and then I have the last question, and then we can open up to. I mean, I'll ask it, but I feel like you guys already answered some of it, so you can repeat it or no, whatever. But it was just, how do you feel about the ending to this one?
No, I mean, of course, I feel the death was too short, and I feel like Selena, she acts off her feelings, and she doesn't think things through. That's why I think Sam was really great for her, because he actually made her think about things. But, of course, she just went off the handlebars, which we all knew she would. And I mean, I knew something was going to happen to her. I knew there was going to be a trap in place, because she doesn't think, like, ever. Which I guess that's one of her traits, and I know as we follow her through other life events, you know, maybe she'll grow upon this, but I predicted that there was going to be a trap and everything. And then to know Arabin was behind it, like, you knew he was going to come back into play somehow because of how much he loathed Sam and everything. It was really fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say it's fucked up. Like, I think Arabin played, like, 4D chess. Like, he knew he was going to take out Sam. He knew that Selena would have done something reckless and wanted revenge. And then that way he, like, won on two fronts. Like, he won in making sure that now Selena is the top dog, which he kind of, like, raised her. He's like, you're the number one. Sam's always going to be the number two. And then also that, you know, Selena betrayed him multiple times. He's now like, I'm going to get rid of you. And it's just all fucked up. Like, she just got played. But I think the worst part is the story for me is, like, she's only 17 and she's playing these, like, big political games. Like what Kimi's saying, like, she doesn't have, like, the mental growth yet to be playing like this. So I'm, like, wondering now what's going to happen to her. But, like, she was just kind of used as a pawn, and it's kind of fucked up.
I don't know how to feel about the ending. It was fucked up, but like I said, it's just setting you up for something later on, and I think that this book is just gonna. There's so much that probably we didn't pick up on that is probably gonna come back again later, and I think that's what I was trying to pick up on most in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And with any origin story, you need a reason for somebody to want to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I'm with Bree. I don't know how I feel about the ending. Like I said earlier, like as soon as I shut the book, I was like, fuck, did I? I was like, why did it happen like this? I don't know. I was like upset, but also like shocked, but also like I could tell that it was like I could predict it. So I was just, I don't know. I was a bunch of emotions.
That's what we like to hear.
I didn't cry,
Okay,
but
well,
I was just, why?
maybe next time.
Takes a lot for, but we'll see.
I
I'm
mean,
also really. Yeah.
no, go ahead, because I'll give my final thoughts then. You go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still really hung up on have you told him the truth about where you came from? My mind is spinning in so many directions for that, and I'm just very eager to find out where she came from. So maybe he's sending her back to where she came from. Maybe that's his plan all along.
Well, she's going to the salt mines now.
Right.
So
Where
she's going to
apparently nobody survives.
That's the slave camp. I don't know. It's hard for me to like. I agree with you, Bree and Kristy. Like, I don't know how I feel about the ending either. Just because I at first didn't predict him to die. That being said, though, when I did read it the first time, I was so destroyed from it that I, for a moment, was like, well, I don't want to read the rest now because it's just like, like they took away this really good character. Now what's the point? So I will say, though, without spoiling anything, that these books were needed. Like, Nick did say, like, oh, you could skip them, and that's not true at all. These you definitely have to read to continue, and it's not the end of Morning Sam, it's just the beginning, and that's what I could say without
Sheesh.
spoiling it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, he's dead. Like, I'll say that. He's dead as fuck. But the feeling doesn't go away.
More than a feeling.
Yeah, it's not that happy, Kristy. It's sad.
I want to be hurt. It's fine. It's okay.
I feel like I'm not hurt yet by Sam. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not-
no, give it time.
I feel like I'm like, I want, and not that I want it, but like I want to learn more about it because like it was just so short. Because like I feel like I'm like an
We get a
unfeeling
POV.
rock.
Oh fuck.
Oh, no, there's no POV.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
what you found out about him dying, that's what you find out. But as you go on, there's more that you learn in
More
terms
than a
of...
feeling.
It's more than a feeling. And there's more that you learn about how she feels, because it was pretty cut and dry. But yeah.
Going back to, I guess, Kimmy's comment on where she came from. So in the beginning of the book, especially when I first started reading it, because I know that this book has Fae in it, and they were talking about magic and how the Fae had left 8 years prior, and I think that's like somewhat around the time that she also showed up. So I was kind of thinking, this is just my thought process, I was wondering if she was actually like a fae that like somehow got left over. That was only in the beginning because she was covering herself up, and every time she would take off her mask, everybody's like, oh, it's this person. Like, they were so like in shock. But like, I wouldn't be in shock even if it was like a 17-year-old girl. I would be shocked if she was a fae, though,
Yeah, that's true.
because they're rare. I don't think that's the case, but they never described her ears or said anything about it, so I don't know. It may be a possibility. Maybe she's half. We don't know. But I do still think about that, and I have marked up throughout my book like certain things that maybe like foreshadowing or things that I wanted to, I guess, think about going into the later books. So like the first tab that I have on my book is when she was talking to Rolf, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, one day someone really is going to make you pay for that arrogance. So I was like, oh, something's going to happen.
I love
at
him
this
so
point.
much. I love Rolf. Sorry.
He's like, I just hope I'm there to see it.
Oh my
The
God.
Pirate King or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah,
that was the
he's
pirate
just
guy.
so funny. Like, I don't know.
I definitely agree with you, Bree. Something's got to happen with magic and something. And in story number 2 with Irene, and how she like helped Irene the healer, I was like, it made me question if like her mother was a healer or if like she was part of a healing like group or something before she went with Arobin. And it also made me think like Arobin only likes the best of the best, and something it drew him to her. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why does he is so obsessed with her and keeping her around as a child to push Sam out of the way and say, this is my new second.
Yeah, like
Something special about her.
I have so many theories. Like she was just an orphan, but I'm also like she keeps saying like I'm the best assassin. I'm the best of Arobin's assassin in Ardalin's empire. So I'm like, is there some connection with the king? Like, why is she so special? Why did Arobin keep her around as long as he did? And then like also like, they really play up on her beauty as well. So I'm like, does she have like some lineage that they're not telling us about? Like what is so important about Selena? Because she says at one point, she was like, if Arobin hadn't found me, I would have wound up just like Lysandra, like working in the brothels. So I'm like, what's going on with her background that she didn't end up like that?
Yeah, there's something in like the one page where it said like he found her like washed up on the shores
By the riverside, right? Or
yeah,
something like that.
in Terrasazen or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
And but then right after that she said like the magic had been taken away. So that made me think like what sort of magic did she have? Because she definitely had something. There's no way that she didn't have something.
Right, and like everyone blames Ardalan for the magic disappearing. So I'm like, there's some connection there.
Yep.
Well, it was in this book too that they said that the king is the one that took the magic.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But
So,
I
yeah,
have a feeling that
king.
like he has something to do with her, and that's why he was all in like when she got captive and she went to like the noble jail. It was.
Same, Kristy, because I was like, why does she keep mentioning Ardalan? And like, how was she just sent to this jail, like in his castle? Like, why wasn't she just immediately sent to the mines? Like, there's something special about her.
He didn't kill her. He did not kill her. And that was a big thing. I was like, because there's no way that she's not going to die. She's going to get beheaded. And then he was like, salt mine. And I was like, no way. There is some weird connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be there.
Yep. I was thinking like King doesn't know he has a child type thing. I don't know. I have theories.
Wow, you're getting messy now.
I don't know. I'm just spitting theories.
I mean, she is a bar wench.
True.
Becca.
Becca is a bar wench.
I'm a dreamer.
And a healer. And a bar wench.
I've lived many lives.
I also want to...
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I also want to bring up on... I found the page, 251, The Assassin in the Underworld, when she got the spider silk. And I just want to know more about spider silk to begin with. But then he said a reminder that everything has a price. And I feel like something's going to come back because the spider silk was put into Sam's suit, which saved him the one time. And everything has a price, and I just want to know more about spider silk. And that's the end of my TED Talk.
You guys are like on like a lot of good theories here. When I read this book, I was like, oh, someone died. What do I do? Like, I didn't think about anything else.
No, I still think about the spider silk as well. I wrote in my book that this is a side quest because he said go and kill those spiders for me at some point. So I think they will come up again later on.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine she
Okay.
goes and finds like a bunch of spider silk and then like has that master
whole-
tinkerer make it into a whole suit for her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
God, yes.
Can you also imagine like Black Panther suit?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When she was like in all black or whatever.
Yeah, and then she was like, I flicked my wrist and the dagger came out. I just imagined like his claws.
Mm-hmm.
Shing, shing, shing.
Yep.
Going
T'Challa.
going back
Ugh.
to and this is just a comment that I want to make sure that I make, and it's not that important, but I was just so mad at Selena for not identifying what that poison was, or that
Oh, the
basically petrified them, because she already
yeah.
had one encounter with it in the beginning in the desert. Then she had it again when she smelt it on Sam's body, and I underlined that. I was like, that's gonna come back.
Mhm.
And then she gets there and she just like totally just like rolled a nat 1 on like history check, medicine check. Like she just failed that entirely. I was like, how do you not know like what this was after you've had multiple encounters with it?
Rosella
And as
or
an
whatever they called
assassin.
it. Yeah.
So I was
I
annoyed by that.
attributed it to she felt comfortable where she was. You're talking about the desert, right? When Ansel poisoned her. Is that what we're talking about?
No,
She
Are you
poisoned
talking
her,
about
but
the
she
smoke?
also I'm talking about
The
yeah,
smoke
it was
stuff.
they made it into a smoke bomb, but they used that potion on the mute guy and like she like
Yeah.
smelled
The
it.
paralytic that it
Yeah.
She
was.
like so I was like, how do you were there and you're like, I know what this is. Then you smelt it again on
Sam.
Sam's body,
Oh,
and then
yeah. Okay.
then you show up and you're like, I have no clue what this is. And then you're like, oh shit.
Listen, Kimmy said it right before. She just dives in and doesn't think about anything.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Yeah.
our girl.
That's what you get for getting your emotions all in check.
That's what happens when you're 17.
I was literally about to say
natty
that.
one. Natty one.
A natty one. I was like, come on, keep saying you're the best assassin and like you're
That's
so
what I
trained,
mean.
and Arabin has spent all these years and however much money on you, but then again, she's 17 and she doesn't know how to like think clearly in like panic situations. So I'm like, I gotta give her the benefit of the doubt, but like, come on.
And
Yeah.
you got caught too.
And you knew Sam's death was a trap, and you're going right back to where the trap was.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that should be like their first thing, like for training, is
Oh yeah.
learn
Like-
to not react.
Like, what does a rogue do in D&D? I'm gonna roll for investigation and look for
Mhm.
traps.
Mhm.
Well,
And then
that's
she rolled a
Yeah.
natty 1.
That's the whole thing. That's what Kimmy said, though. She just said everything has a price. Or not, sorry, not everything. Well, that. But where you were like, Rolf said, that's a lot of arrogance. You're going to pay for all that arrogance. I mean, she did kind of pay for it at the end. With all the...
Right.
Literally every single time she said, I'm the best assassin. I'm the best assassin. That's the definition of arrogance. And she paid for it.
And ignorance.
And ignorance.
That was my there she is for this book, guys.
What?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm Selena Sardothian. La, 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 la. Okay, we get it.
I'm
Keep
arrogant
going.
assassin.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Oh my god. No, the there she is just is in my mind forever. I can't let it go. It's so annoying. Oh.
And even after she was technically freed from him, she still kept saying that she was his assassin technically, and I was like, no, bro, you're free.
Yeah, let it go.
That's just that.
Mhm.
That's that manipulation that he
Yep,
was
that
just.
abusive, toxic
Well, yeah.
relationship.
And then that's why Sam was like trying to get her to realize like, we need to move from this continent to another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we have to get away from him.
Yeah, and then like she had some doubts about it, and like I think back to what Kimmy's saying, like where is she from? Because she's like, I can't leave this land. I think she said something like that.
Yeah.
And, like what's
I can't
going on
leave
with
my
like
home.
her birth or right, like her birth story. Like
Nah, she wants her sugar daddy.
Ugh.
she does like the finer things in life. That's one thing she said. She's like,
Exactly.
I can't bring all my shoes and perfume and stuff with me.
I felt
Honestly,
like that
fair
was
enough.
like a big part of her. Like she was like, I can't leave this life because that's all I've ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Because even when she was in the desert, she's like, I just want like a bath and like
Oh,
makeup,
yeah.
and I think when she came back, she went and got like pampered.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she got stuck in the sewer and she took 5,000 baths
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
afterwards. I was like, bro, it's not that bad. You're fine.
She was swimming in shit water, though.
Okay, but
Kristy.
you don't have to take 10,000.
I would.
I might take,
Yeah.
3.
I put a little side comment. I put die in the sewer? Nah. Get it on in the sewer? Hell yeah.
Oh, stop right now. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
me.
Oh, imagine
Hell
the
yeah.
smell. No.
Right, I'm just flipping through my book, and I just want somebody to read my book and like appreciate all my little comments in here. Like when she's just like, she was still the best. She'd always be the best. And I was like, girl, you got caught and duped. Like, get out of here.
No.
Wrong.
Also, in the tavern story, like they were giving like step-by-step instructions to like self-defense. I don't know if anyone else got up out of their chair, and I was like, all right, bring the knee up, like I was doing.
Tell me you were doing the moves in your friggin'
I-
room. Like, oh my
Oh my
god.
God.
I absolutely was. I was about to call Ronnie over and be like, hey, be my test dummy.
Let me knee you in the face.
It was like step-by-step instructions. Like I had to try it.
Did it work?
I didn't use Ronnie, but like I'm sure it seemed effective.
Aw, I would have paid money for that.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we're done? Any final theories? I know we talked about a bunch, but any final thoughts before we go?
I'm excited to read the next book.
Hell yeah.
Yes, same. Fuck Arabin.
Ask and you shall receive.
Fuck that guy.
He can go kick rocks.
You go pound sand, motherfucker.
We're gonna roadhouse his ass.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's call Patrick Swayze from the dead. He can come
Yeah,
do the job.
I would love that.
Yeah, this was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, and we're going to be doing Throne of Glass next. And this was the Valkyrie Book Club. So, till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Well.